you own a Honda Ruckus and you're looking for a little bit more top speed, this EVI brain box will do the trick. It'll increase your acceleration and your top speed. It removes the rev limiter and also advances the timing. It's a CDI and a coil in one. It's all plug and play. 20-minute install, really easy. No cutting, splicing of any sort. So this is the scooter we're gonna do the upgrade on, the orange hot rod. This is gonna increase the top speed and the acceleration. Step one is to remove this box. There's gonna be 4 bolts, 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, and then there's gonna be one right behind here on each side. So here we go. We've already pulled the screws out back here, so then you just pull this off. Now we've gained access here, and we got to come around front and remove the front so we can get to the right hand control wiring. Take a 10mm and loosen these screws here. This holds a whole headlight assembly on. Just like that, and then you can move this out of the way and kind of let it hang there. Now you can pull the front clip out of the way. You really only need to pull it out of the way a little bit so you can get to these wires, or you can remove it completely. Okay, now you've got your seat pan. You're gonna have to remove. This one has a custom seat pan, a little bit different, but the bolts don't change. So there's one here. Your scooter will probably have 12mm if it's stock, and 12mm here, and the same thing on the other side. So there's 2 here, on total of 6 bolts holding the seat on. So I loosen that, loosen this one, and then this guy you don't actually have to take it all the way out. Once that's done, you can pull that seat pan out of the way. And remove your floorboard. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 10mm bolts, and then there's be a Phillips head screw right here and right here. So let's go ahead and remove those. Okay, now you can pull it out of place. Pull it like that, and then you've gained access to the complete motor. You want to remove your old coil. You're not going to need it anymore. So pull the cap off of the spark plug, and then the wires going into the back of the coil, remove those as well. And now there's an 8mm holding this coil on. Bolt there, and then your whole coil comes out of the way. You put that aside, you won't need it anymore. And these wires, just make sure they're not touching any metal or anything like that, and zip tie them out of the way. So now we've got everything in place. Here's our EVI motor brain. On the back you're going to find some 3M tape. Clean this area really good, and then we're going to attach it just like that. Notice I have the wires ran under the original harness, and then just peel off your 3M. Again, make sure this is really clean, and then slide it into place just like that. This is the service port on your Ruckus. Take the EVI motor brain plug, looks just like it, and plug it in here. Very important to make sure that the terminal inside the connector doesn't bend over, so it's not a forceful thing. If it doesn't go, then like right now it's starting to bend over, so we want to make sure that sometimes you got to shift it over just a little bit to make sure that you get a clean plug and it doesn't bend over. It's like that, and then sometimes I unplug it just to make sure. You want to do that with all of these connectors. Here we go. Now you've got your black wire, that's your ground. So you'll unscrew the green wire, the ground on your Ruckus, and then run that over. So you've got 2 terminals on there now. The ground for the EVI and the ground for the scooter itself. So get that cranked down. One little trick you can do, if you notice here, it's not catching the nut in the battery. Unscrew it like this, and then take like a piece of rubber hose as a temporary and shove it down underneath there, or zip tie like this, and then you can unscrew it and screw it back in. And notice now you can pull the zip tie out real easy. That's like a little hack. Now we've got this connector. This plugs in line to your right hand control. So we're going to want to, as clean as possible, send it around. I normally come through here, just like this. You want to make sure that it's not going to get pinched in any way. So here's your right hand control. You want to chase the wire, the electrical wire, down. It's going to be down here. So once you've located it, which it's here, it's a 4 wire plug. You want to push down on this little tab here, and that's the unlock button, the little tab. And then you can pull it apart just like that. Now, the EVI motor brain inline with this plug. So you want to make sure that you're not forcing this to make sure none of the plugs bind in any way. And then, so there's one clip, and then give a little wiggle. If you think it's being bent over, you might have to adjust these pins. We always try our best to be sure that they're lined up, but every harness is different. Just be real careful, make sure there's no resistance, or very little. It plugs in just like that. So we're in line, everything's ready to go, and you can kind of tuck this back in. Okay, just to recap, blue wire goes to the service port, black wire to the battery, red wire plugs in line with the right hand control. Now we have the spark plug wire. The gas tank's loose since we loosened it. You want to run the spark plug wire underneath the gas tank. You want to be dang sure that there's no binding in any way. Just make sure this is in there really good. You kind of push it down. Just like that. The gas tank goes up underneath the frame. So that gets confused a lot. So now we can take the wire and run it over the top of the motor, just like the original coil was, and plug it into the spark plug. When you push it down on the spark plug, you're going to hear a little click. If you don't hear that, it's probably not installed. So you hear that little click. I don't know if you did, but it's there. And then the wire just runs over the top of the motor. You can put a zip tie there, or just leave it. Turn the key on. Make sure, just start it like you normally would. That's how you install it, and just reverse the steps to put it all back together. I did a GPS test on the orange one, and we're now getting 7 miles an hour more on top speed. What's your 2-second thought on your input?
Well, it makes the ride more enjoyable, so it's definitely worth it.
Plugs in about 20 minutes, gives you a better top speed, better acceleration. You can find it at our website at rollingwrenchdenver.com.